Hey everyone, got a bit of a different video for you guys today. A scripted rant, if you will. Like many of you, I've been playing video games pretty much my entire life. And also, like many of you, it is one of my favorite forms of entertainment out there. To give a little context, I am 24 years old, so I've been playing games since the PS1, PS2, OG Xbox, and the GameCube era. And that also means I wasn't around for the video game crash of 1983. And with the way the industry is heading, it seems like it's coming full circle. In case you've been living under a rock for the past several months, Nintendo announced the Switch 2 and it has since been released along with a launch title, Mario Kart World. Overall, people were initially positive towards the Switch 2 because we're finally getting a better version of a genuinely great console. However, that positivity turned sour when the prices were revealed. The Switch 2 console costs $450 and $500 bundled with Mario Kart, and Mario Kart World alone is the first video game to cost $80. There were some rumors going around that it would cost $90 for a physical copy of the game, but now I think it's been proven to be misinformation. Nintendo also announced something called game keycards, where instead of a physical cartridge with the game data on it, you now have a blank cartridge with a download code. No real physical copy, no way to preserve your game forever, no way to legally emulate it, just $80 for a blank piece of plastic. That's what Nintendo thinks this is worth. Oh, let's not forget to mention that one of the buttons on the Joy-Cons is tied to Nintendo Switch Online, meaning if you are not a member of NSO, you can't use that button, and as someone who has not used the console, I imagine pressing it brings up a prompt to subscribe to NSO, which is fucking baffling to me if you accidentally press it in the middle of a game. A physical button on a piece of hardware you paid hard-earned money for is rendered useless unless you give a multi-billion-dollar corporation more money. Oh, I also failed to mention that they can just brick your console if you do or say something the Big N doesn't like. If you say something in a VC or mod your console in any way, they can just ban your account. This goes without saying, that should be illegal. No company should have that kind of control over what you do with a product you paid your hard-earned money for. Oh, I didn't even mention the Switch 2 Welcome Tour, which is a $10 tech demo. Let me repeat that. Nintendo is charging $10 for a fucking tech demo. You know, a piece of software to show the capabilities of the console that is literally free on every other fucking platform? This is just blatant greed at this point. Another thing they shouldn't be charging for, but they are, is digital upgrades for certain games. Like, to be able to play Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom in 60 FPS, you'll have to pay up to $10 or $15 or something, I don't know, and I don't really care, I'm not buying it. For reference, digital upgrades on other platforms have been free. Just ponder on that one for a bit. The final thing I care to bring up is their shittier version of Discord that's included in NSO. The overall look and functionality of it is quite literally just Discord. There's no beating around it, it's just Discord. Why they did this instead of implementing Discord functionality, you know, like every other competitor has done, is beyond me. Obviously, all of this made people who were interested in the console pretty upset, and rightfully so. People who wanted to buy the console decided not to because fuck Nintendo, and I can't exactly blame them. Well, that's not exactly true. YouTubers who were outspoken against the Switch 2, like Muda and Dreamcast Guy, said they weren't going to buy one, and ended up buying one anyway, fueling Nintendo's greed even further. Suffice to say though, Nintendo announced their greed, people got upset, and people went on their merry way. That was until Xbox announced a price increase for their consoles for the first time this year. I say the first time because they did it again not too long ago. Microsoft is getting way too greedy, but we're getting there. Xbox increased the prices of the Series S from about $300 to $380, and the Series X went from about $500 to $600. So the Series S went from being the most budget-friendly console on the market to being not that anymore. And the worst part about this is that Microsoft had to do literally nothing. Literally, all they had to do was just leave the prices as they were, but Microsoft just couldn't fucking help themselves when they saw what Nintendo did. They didn't have to do a damn thing and they would have been just fine. But no, the Big M had to show their greed too, like it was a dick measuring contest. And then they had the audacity to raise the prices for the consoles a second fucking time. The Series S went from $380 to $400, and the Series X 2TB model went up to $800. Let me repeat that. A fucking Series X 2TB model costs $800, while the base model costs $600. And if that wasn't enough, they raised the price of Game Pass recently too and changed the names of the tiers again. The tiers are now called Essential, Premium, and Ultimate. Essential is $10 a month, Premium is $15 a month, and Ultimate is a whopping $30 a month. This also makes 0 sense, because why the fuck is Microsoft raising the price when it was already semi-affordable before? There is genuinely no way that fucking Microsoft, you know, the company who has a monopoly on operating systems and charges $140 for licenses for it, is desperate for money. There's just no way. As a response, gamers quickly canceled their Game Pass subscriptions because they don't want to feed this kind of greed, and I totally understand that. And if that still wasn't enough, they just raised the prices of dev kits too. They are genuinely trying their hardest to outprice everyone from this hobby, and it is just so fucking infuriating to see. Now, I've never liked Microsoft, but goddamn, this is a whole new low. And finally, the last thing I want to touch on for this video is the price increase to $70 and $80 games. I already touched on it a little bit in the Nintendo section of this video, but I wanted to bring it up again here. Microsoft did state they'll also be charging $80 for games, but I think they've since walked that back. I mean, hell, they already tried to charge $80 for Outer Worlds 2, and Gearbox tried charging $80 for Borderlands 4. They did walk these prices back to $70 after some backlash, but I'd argue that's just as bad. Now, certain games have been priced at $70 before this, but $70 games are still just a massive scam. The most notable ones that come to my mind are Tears of the Kingdom, Dragon's Dogma 2, Silent Hill 2 Remake, Indiana Jones, and Starfield. Now, while I like a couple of these games, does that mean that any of them are worth $70? No, absolutely not, because most of them don't even reach that quality to price ratio. $60 is still a little much for a new game in my opinion, but $70 is outrageous, and $80 is even worse. Big corpos are actually pricing people out of this hobby, and the quality of games is not meeting that price point. That's why games like Silksong and Expedition 33 are popping off so hard right now, because they're priced lower and they meet that level of quality most AAA games don't nowadays, and that's just fucking sad. All of this is to say, the gaming industry is absolutely going to crash, and honestly, it's needed at this point. Anything to give these companies the wake-up call they so desperately need. I am so glad that I moved to PC when I did. Now, obviously, nobody could have predicted this, but if you're looking to get into gaming and considering the current price of the console market, you're honestly just better off getting the parts for a PC and building it yourself. Because to be honest, if you're looking for a solid gaming experience, you would only be spending the same amount, if not maybe a few hundred more than that 2TB Series X model. But I think that'll do it for me. I've been keeping up with gaming news for the past several months, and I figured I'd compile all of the massive things that happened into one video and just kind of give you guys an indicator on where the industry is headed. Because yes, the gaming industry is going to crash. It's not a matter of if it will, it's a matter of when it will. If you guys enjoyed this one, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Thank you all for watching, much love to you, and I will see y'all in the next one.